Jays fans have had enough, as following yet another disastrous start for Bowden Francis, fans have reached a boiling point, and we have multiple huge updates surrounding Bowden Francis and his future with the Toronto Blue Jays, including some comments and updates that came out revealing some very intriguing both details about his future and interesting comments in general as well surrounding the team. And to break down exactly what those are, as well as discuss some big updates surrounding Max Scherzer, as all eyes are now on him. Also, a few other things to go over today, folks, ahead of this afternoon's final game of the series against the Phillies, with the Jays attempt to salvage what was been a disappointing series thus far. But before you get it all, folks, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. Your guys' support has been unbelievable, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys again for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot to go over today. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking on this channel about, we've been talking on the channel a lot about Bowden Francis and all these different things. It has reached a boiling point, I think, among the fan base, because we're at the point now where he went out yesterday. He was dominant through 3 innings and then just completely blew up in the 4th inning. And then from there, I believe it was, and from there, fans came after the game with a bunch of updates from John Schneider. But let's start and rewind a little bit here, because in order for the Jays, the only reason the Jays aren't fighting for an AL East spot right now is because of Bowden Francis. Every time he started, they've lost. And you can see here, Bowden Francis lost it here in the 4th inning in Philadelphia with 2 outs. He walked, hit batter, walked, hit batter. Just so we're all aware, with 2 outs, ladies and gentlemen, he had the ability to get out of the inning. What looked like a step in the right direction ends after 3 2/3 innings. So this was just, and if you watched the game yesterday, of course, most people probably, did. And unfortunately, he looked electric through the first 3. The first inning, he gave up a bunch of hard contact. Things were looking a little bit iffy. Really settled in from there, sorry. And it's all about his command. And then he completely blew up. And it's going to be interesting, because following the game, he was very emotional. He paused to collect his thoughts for a moment while discussing the Jays' veteran starters and how they've supported him through this. So this is very interesting. He said, there's a lot of big hearts here, and they help you through moments like these. And he basically, throughout the entire post-game interview and all these different things, gave a ton of credit to guys like Gosse and Bassett and Berríos and just the level of professionalism they had. And he was pretty emotional, supposedly, at that post-game press conference. And it's interesting because each start could be Bowden Francis's last, and probably should be. And I think most fans at this point want Bowden Francis sent down. And they asked John Schneider if he wants to see Bowden continue to work at the MLB level. He said, yeah, I think we need him. He's working his butt off with Pete Walker. I think he's going to take what he did before the walks in the 4th inning and build off of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're running it back with Bowden Francis for the next start, which we assume is, is going to be scheduled here soon. This is the interesting part, because again, the Jays are winning most of their games, and it's not when Bowden Francis is pitching. He's lost a good few in a row now, lost a ton in a row, and it's at the point where not only are they in a very dire situation, in that, not necessarily as a team, but as a that 4th or 5th starter spot, they desperately need multiple starters at the MLB level. And we have an update surrounding Max Scherzer as well. You're gonna want to stay tuned for, but it's like at this point, what else is there to see? He has given his ERAs above 6. He loses control. He can't get batters out. Yes, he showed some promise last season. He was one of the best pitchers, the best pitcher in the MLB in the second half of the year. But that was primarily due to command. He has not had that command all year. It looked a little better in yesterday's game for the first bit, and then boom, it just completely blows up. And yes, he has the veteran starters to help him. He has all these different things, but he needs to figure it out. And I'm a little bit frustrated that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to let him just keep running it out there. And of course, some of the injuries to the depth down in AAA has affected this. Ricky Tiedemann being out, Jake Bloss was the big one. Alek Manoah is going to be returning here in the next few months, or next month or so, a couple months. August is kind of the ETA there. And John Schneider went on to comment about it, and he said the walks and the hit by pitch was the difference. Just kind of a weird outing there in the 4th inning. I thought he was in a pretty good rhythm with his delivery, with his location, and with his stuff, and kind of lost the command in the 4th. And the problem is he's lost his command a lot all year. And, I don't want to hate on Bowden Francis and, hit him when he's down, but it's more so regarding the team. Like, you look at the record with him starting, it hasn't been good at all. They haven't been able to win with him starting lately. And every time it comes around, it seems like he gives up a home run. And there's some other guys to blame as well. Guys like Chad Green, who have been underwhelming. And of course, not having Jimmy Garcia in the bullpen. The bullpen's been overworked, but every single game that Bowden Francis goes out there, there's 2 games in a row now. Like, he's out before the 4th inning. He's out before the 5th inning, and it just completely destroys and decimates your bullpen at a time where, given the injuries, you don't have a ton of room to allow that bullpen to be, decimated. They had to use Brendan Little and Yari Rodriguez, 2 of your highest leverage relievers at this point, in the 4th and 5th innings of the game. And shout out to Braden Fisher, the rookie, for being electric and dominant in the relief role in the 6th inning and in higher-ish leverage situations where he was able to go in and, truthfully, or 6th or 7th inning, whenever, I think it was 7th inning, Jake Fisher came in, and he was able to get a shutout inning. And, Braden Fisher, rather. And, you need those kind of things. But, Keegan Masson makes a good point here. Brown's next start will come Friday at home against the White Sox, ranked 27th in runs scored. Everything is on the table. It's even a rare spot to entertain an opener to give Francis a softer entry. Scherzer still needing one more start matters here, too. And I hope they do, maybe do an opener and then figure it out from there. It's interesting that they're going to keep rocking with him. I don't agree with it. I think he should be gone at this point, and I think he will be, down to AAA. Like, give him a stint down there. Who's your immediate replacement? You have guys like Eric Lauer. You have guys like Spencer Turnbull. Max Scherzer is nearing a return. So it's a bunch of, let me know down below what your thoughts are. I think all of us have collectively had enough of Bowden Francis. But let's dive into Max Scherzer. Now, again, we've been covering his timeline in depth here on the channel. Had a video on it yesterday. He came out to this, of course, yesterday was the day after the big start on Friday, which the big important information was how he was going to bounce back. And he said that he was good. He was just experiencing normal fatigue, which is very good news. Plan is for the side session today and then join the Bisons for another start Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, this is fantastic news as Max Scherzer is going to be starting again for AAA. He didn't have any thumb flare-ups. He didn't have any, other issues besides normal fatigue. A very, very good sign. And I think him needing one more start on Wednesday, this is probably Bowden Francis' last chance. If he doesn't do well against the White Sox, the worst, one of the worst offenses, in the league, and one of the worst offenses we've seen in a while, you're going to be in a very bad spot if he doesn't do well. Like, he's going to probably go, and that lines up with Max Scherzer. So as much as I think he should be gone, it makes sense to give him one more start versus the White Sox. And then that opens up a door anyway for Max Scherzer, who, if Bowden Francis pitches well, you probably give him another start and you put Max Scherzer in the 5th spot and you go from there and give, obviously I'm talking about Bowden Francis, another start that is. So it's going to be interesting. And again, on Max Scherzer, he came out of it feeling how he expected to, a little bit of normal fatigue with most of the pitches he's thrown in the game since spring training. All good news. He says next AAA rehab start outing scheduled for Wednesday. So that's going to be big as well. Reinforcements are coming in, folks. And the Jays just need to tread water, and you lose 2 games to start the series against the Phillies. They have their aces going up. Like, they're going up against great pitchers, including yesterday. I mean, Suarez. I mean, they're all great, right? Zach Wheeler today. It doesn't get any easier. If they can pull off this win today, huge. 7 games above 500. You're entering a very easy point in your schedule, starting with the White Sox at home. The Jays play much better at home than on the road. The team is in. If they can win today, probably the biggest game of the season thus far, this would be a statement win for this team. Now, if they lose, they're 5 games above 500. Still in a fantastic spot regardless. And that's the benefit of, going on the run they did. Even if you lose and get swept in today's game, hopefully you don't, of course, get swept, excuse me. But if you do, you're still in a fine spot. Yankees have lost a bunch to the Red Sox. Like, the wildcard teams are losing. The Jays are still 2 games in the wildcard spot as of the time of recording. You got to win this game today. Show, get some offense, get some life against Zach Wheeler. Show us what you have and go out there and win it. And then you're going back home in a very, very favorable spot. So it's going to be interesting, folks. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on the Bowden Francis situation. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on these new, updates that are coming out. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news. Trades are on the horizon. Ross got to get in his phone. You guys are beasts. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.